Hey, the Essential Beings. This is Natasha Lunn back with you guys with another podcast. I want to thank each and every one of my followers and listeners, and I also want to thank my new listeners as well today. And as always, I dedicate this video to my future kids and grandkids that will one day grow up and listen to this and know that Mama loves you, Grandma loves you with all her heart, and one day you won't be my future kids and grandkids. You're going to be my kids and grands. So I love you guys whenever you guys listen to this podcast. And I also love all my listeners as well. And so, you guys, today's topic is going to be about keep on keeping on. Now, I was looking in the Bible, in the book of Galatians, in chapter 6, verse 9, and it says, I'm reading from the NIV version. It says, let us not become weary in doing good. It says, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. 10 says, therefore, as we have the opportunity, let us do good to all people. It says, especially to those who belong to the family of believers. That's right. And to keep on keeping on, today's topic, to keep on keeping on, I felt as though it was in my spirit that God wanted me to speak on this because, there has been some times in my life where you have people that are almost like pretenders, right? They pretend to love you, they pretend to like you, they pretend to be around you for, maybe fame or for them to get fortune or whatever the case may be. And when you are in your low moment, those same people that claim to be, so good to you and love you so much, those are the ones that usually have the resources, and even have the knowledge to help you. And then they don't want to help you. You ever had people or been around people like that? They have the resources to help you. You reach out to these people because you think you can trust them. And then when you're low in your moments, it's like they just laugh in your face. It's like, yeah, we wanted you down. We wanted you not to be able to get back up. We wanted you in this position. We want to be head over you. But they fail to realize that God is in control, right? God says, don't give up. He says, do good, even in your low moments. He says, in your weary moments. He says, for the appointed time, proper time, there's going to be a harvest for you, but you got to keep moving. You got to keep pushing forward. You got to give it your all. And, I remember also, if you guys know a little bit of my story, being in high school, not even just high school, I just remember like being bullied. I was always just quiet, shy girl. But I knew I had some boldness inside, but I was always fearful, fearful of what people would think of me. So I wouldn't, dress the way that I really wanted to dress or talk the way I really wanted to talk or go places because of the spirit of fear that was within my life. And I just remember being, just being bullied and I never fit in with other cliques. I tried to fit in with certain cliques and it just never worked. I was always the outsider. I was always the one that just stood out like a sore thumb. And it was almost so weird for me growing up. But I thank God for Him placing people in my life and helping me to see my true identity, to know who I truly am. And I thank Him for that. And, just during those years, those girls just said mean things. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie with Lindsay Lohan, but it was called Mean Girls. And they were like popular girls, and they would just kind of talk and pick on the unpopular girls or the girls who they felt were nobody, maybe because they didn't look like they did or have the money like they did or have the guys like they did or whatever the case was. They were considered mean girls. And sometimes we have those mean girls in our life and or mean guys in our life, right? And it hurts. It really does hurt, and it brings you down to like am I really worthy of being who I really want to be? Like, deep inside you are somebody. But in the instance of like God, it's like sometimes I just feel so alone. And I remember just being in school, I would have friends some days, and then as sometimes friends who got the opportunity to switch on me, they did. And I remember being one particular incident. I was in middle school, and there was a girl I knew since elementary school who was friends with me. And I won't say her name for this video, but if she listens to it, she probably know who she is. But anyways, we were friends since elementary school, and during the years, people part ways, and they just maybe go to another school. You're in another zone area for your school, so you end up at another school, or they just move away. But anyways, we were in the same city, but we were in different school zones. So she was going to another school, and I was going to another school. And for some reason in middle school, we kind of ended up back together. But she would pretend to be my friend, she would pretend to like me, but when there were other girls around that I guess she felt were popular or were doing great things, or just everybody liked them, then she would leave me for them. And the crazy thing about it is, those same girls that she left me for to be friends with, they ended up leaving her. So it was almost like revenge on herself. Like, she put herself into a revengeful state against herself because by what she did. And during the years, I got used to people just being friends one day and not being friends. God has really strengthened me. People think because you're quiet and you're meek and you're humble that you're just a weak person. And that's totally not true, because during these years, God has toughened me and given me tough skin. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. I heard a lot. And so God toughened my skin up whereas I don't have to depend on friends. My dependence is not on friends. My dependence is not on family. Yes, it's good to have family that can help you. But just as quick as my friend turned on me, your family can turn on you. So-called friends can turn on you. Co-workers can turn on you. So the only person that you should truly depend on is God. And God has taught me that over the years. And I used to think it was a bad thing. I'm like, God, I don't really have anybody like that. I don't really have anybody close. I used to always want to have like close girlfriends where we can go shopping, where we can go and get our nails done, go and get our hair done, just talk about guys and stuff like that. But as I got older, I never had that close, like, girlfriend, not in that way, but like close friend that was a girl. And I never really had that. And like I said, most of the times girls would just turn against me. And sometimes it would just be for no reason. And, I have to admit to myself too, there may be things that I have done that maybe they turn against. And there were things that I had not done that they just turned away. So, like I said, if you are listening to this today and you're going through it, if you're a guy, if you're a girl going through it, know that you should keep on keeping on. Know that, yes, there are going to be people who are going to pretend that they love you so, and they're gonna just do every little thing for you. And then when you're at your low moments, those people, they're not gonna be there to help you. They're not gonna want to help you because they never wanted to help you in the first place. So learn to appreciate the people that really are there for you, the people that really appreciate you, the people that really rock with you. It's very few people that I can say that I really rock with, and it's I can count those people on my hand that I really can truly trust, that's really been there in my corner. So respect and love those people, and know that the enemy, he can use anybody. I don't care. The enemy will use anybody to get you deterred and pulled away. But remember though, remember that whatever you're doing, whatever your shortcomings are, God got you. God got you. God is just working with you, and he's pulling the best out of you. There's a song by Marvin Sapp that says he saw the best in me. God sees the best in you. When people don't see the best in you, when they only see your weak side, when they only see you making L's, when they only see you in your failing moments, when they only see you when you can't pay your bills on time, when they see you, when they think that their authority and their position to rise over you is the only thing that's going to keep you. But I'm here to tell you that their position and their rise above you, the enemy think that he has the hold, but God has the final say. I used to say, God, why does it seem like my enemies have a hold over me? And God says, no, they don't have a hold over you. I have the final authority. I have the final say. I want you guys to remember that. You're going to have people that feel like if it wasn't for them, that you wouldn't be where you are. If it wasn't for what they're doing, you wouldn't be nothing. You wouldn't nothing without them. That's a lie. That's a lie from the pits of hell. Because when you do something, when you give from your heart, it's from your heart. You're not wanting to have anything in return. You don't want to be possessive of that person. Because sometimes I notice too, when you're in that position to be under authority of your enemies, in a certain season in your life, it's going to feel like you're under authority, and you will be under authority of your enemies, but God is going to pull you out. He's going to liberate you. He's going to free you. He's going to uplift you. He's going to ignite a fire within you that you could never imagine. So all those things and hardships that you've been through, all those disappointments, remember God has you. And remember, this is just a side note. I want you guys, if you're in your early teens or adult ages, I want you guys to focus less on guys, focus less on girls, focus less on being in a relationship with somebody, always having that feeling like you need to have somebody in your life. No, you don't. The only person you need to have in your life is God himself. So I want you guys, my listeners today, young or old, to start working on you. When I mean start working on you, I mean actually while you're in high school, while you're in elementary school, start taking courses that are going to help you in the career center. In middle school, I remember we had like a career class. So start doing things to benefit you. Start taking some classes like on how to budget and how to not max out your credit cards like I did and be in so much debt that you got to try to scramble just to pay the debt back. So I want you guys to focus on, budgeting your money. Don't go over budget. Don't try to buy things that you can't really afford. So stay within a budget, create a budget and stay within your budget. I would say if you do apply for a credit card, use the amount that's given to you. So if you have because sometimes banks would give teenagers credit cards, and there's like giving destruction to a teenager who doesn't know or don't have money. So if you are able to apply for a credit card, make sure that you're not overspending that maximum amount. If they give you $200, a maximum amount, make sure that you're not going over that limit. Make sure you're paying your money back. So if you spend $40 for gas, pay that $40 back, so you can actually help build your credit. So make sure that, I want you guys to be well equipped. So when you get out of high school, you don't have to struggle like I did. I struggled trying to this, I've been struggling trying to get my credit score up. I've been struggling trying to pay bills, all this debt that I got into because I didn't understand. And another thing was I didn't listen. I was hard-headed. I wanted to do things my way. It was my way or no way. And so these people at the banks are telling you, and they're being truthful and honest with you. So listen, have an active heart to listen to these people. Listen to those that's been in that situation so that you can do better. Making sure that, as a young woman or young man during those high school years, make sure that you're staying protected physically, spiritually. Don't go out here having sex with older men or older women. especially if you're going to do it, make sure you use protection. Make sure that you're not getting entangled with a guy who's out of high school, college, in college, and you just never know what life can hit you with, because there are diseases that are actually real out there, and I've seen people who have it, and I want you guys to be prepared, because there's STDs like AIDS, HIV, there's herpes, there's gonorrhea. I remember having a client he was an older man, and he had gonorrhea. I'm sorry, he had syphilis. Syphilis is another STD, but he had syphilis, and I just saw how syphilis just affected his mind and everything. And there is an experiment I believe it's called the Tuskegee experiment, and it was about the effects of syphilis, which is an STD, on the body. So if you're a teenager listening to this, don't be so caught up in trying to lose your virginity. Don't get caught up in the hype of doing those types of things. Live in the moment. Live your life to the fullest. Don't get caught up chasing after a guy. Don't get caught up chasing after a man or a female who don't probably even want you. So as a young woman, because I can speak from a young woman, love your body, love yourself, love you. Learn to love you at an early age, and don't get, in the motion and habit of like what high school kids do, because we've all been in high school, or most of us have, and the hype and everything behind high school, around sex and drugs and all this stuff that goes along, and the peer pressure to want to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. But begin to love you, and begin to know how to say no. Begin to be okay. Be okay with being single during your high school years. Learn how to be single. Learn how to appreciate that. You don't have to be tied down to somebody. You don't have to be forced to be in a relationship. So enjoy your high school years. I know this topic was about keep on keeping on, but enjoy your prom years. You get to go to prom. You get to meet different high school people. And I just remember being in high school. I just feel led to say this. I had a friend by the name of Roger, who was an awesome friend. I know we shouldn't use the word awesome, but he was a very great friend and person to me. And that was not really one of the first times, but after I lost my grandmother, losing a friend that was so close to me, he passed away, and it was just a hurting feeling, knowing someone for so many amount of years, and then all of a sudden you hear this person. The last thing I remember was speaking to him the day before he passed, and he was going to have surgery that next day that we spoke, and he never did make it through. So you never know when your last moment is, and that you're going to speak to somebody, that you're going to hear their voice, that you're going to be around them. So appreciate the people that are in your life, because Roger was a very good man, and if he was living today, he would have made a very great husband, because he was a very good friend and someone that you can really trust, someone that you don't really see much in. And I just pray for his family, and just knowing that was truly Roger was truly a good friend to me, someone that you can depend on, someone to love. And sometimes we get into the motion of pushing people away that are good in our lives, and we miss out on opportunities that could have been. So don't get into the habit of could have been. Begin to appreciate those in your life, because you never know when, you're going to have your goodbyes with them. So make sure you guys love each other, and excuse me for getting emotional, but love each other, and be appreciative appreciate the ones that God has sent you in your life, because you're going to love to appreciate the ones that were appreciative of you. When the ones that you push the good ones away for the bad ones, you begin to look back and reflect, and you say, God, I'm sorry for the things that I've said. I'm sorry for the things that I've done. So, just remember those things. You're going to go through high school. Some of your high school friends may not even make it out of high school. You may lose a friend, So live your life in a place where you can say, I'm happy that I did this. I'm happy that I did that. And so important to just love one another, you guys. So I wasn't trying to get emotional here, but when I talk to y'all, when I just release my emotions and my feelings, it just brings me back to a whole different place, and it's just nourishment for me. It's nourishment for my soul that I can talk to you guys, and that you guys can know that there's someone who's been in your shoes. So, like I said, I pray for Roger's family, and I thank God for the time that I had with him in his life and his journey, and during these years. And he was actually the one that took me to prom, and he asked me to prom, and I had a wonderful time there. So I just I really appreciate the time that and I appreciate the people that God has placed in my life. So once again, my name is Natasia Lund. This is the Eccentric Beings podcast. Remember, what do we do as the Eccentric Beings? That's right. We're here to knock down the kingdom of darkness. All right, you guys. Remember, God loves you, and I love you, and you too. All right, catch you in the next podcast.